There is another trick the enemy uses on believers. This trick is used on unbelievers all the time. Unbelievers don't even realize this is being done to them, because unbelievers don't have the discernment to see this. Some do, but even then, they don't see the bigger picture behind it. There's the following. The enemy will come as everything you've ever wanted, but he is not everything you ever wanted. Because, first of all, what you want comes from your childhood and how you were raised. Someone that was raised in an agricultural society will have different expectations than someone that grew up in an urban area. If you're from the ghetto, your outlook on life is different from someone that's from a wealthy, posh neighborhood. So, just as the native language you speak comes from the conditioning of your environment, your expectations of life are also a reflection of where you're from. If where you are from was bad and society around you promotes something else, then you've been conditioned into that something else that society was promoting. In any case, what you want is a reflection of how you were raised and how you've been conditioned. So, do the math. You were raised by the world. And who runs the world? Demons do. So demons conditioned you in what you want. But you experienced it as if it's you wanting it, as if it's your own volition, if you came up with it yourself. And that's not true. So, when Satan comes as everything you ever wanted, he can easily do it because he conditioned you to want those things to begin with. You want to be validated. You want to be acknowledged. There are natural things human beings want, because we have three needs: safety, security, and significance. When it comes to significance, society tells you how to be significant. So what you want from others is a reflection of how you've been conditioned in relationship to this need for significance. Why is it that many people would not want to walk around with their pants very low, like they do in some places in black ghettos? It's because society conditions you to pull up your pants, to fasten your belt, and to walk in a suit. That's what society conditions you in. Because society rewards that. And because you want to be rewarded, and you don't want to become the target of violence, you now don't want to hang around with guys that sag their pants. So you think that attitude that you have concerning people that sag their pants comes from you, as if it's just you standing by your own merit. That's not true. Society conditions you to look at those people that way. In some societies, you are not allowed to challenge your parents nor your relatives. You have to just take every trash from anyone that's older than you. So, in such a society, when a young individual challenges an uncle, for example, that's out of line, others may say, be careful how you speak to your uncle. Why do they say be careful? Because if he or she doesn't conform to how they want him to behave, they act out. Those same people are against violence, but the moment they don't feel validated, they lash out, and they have a reason. And when you expose this to them, they now have cognitive dissonance, because they don't want to face this about themselves. Let's say that someone grew up in Sweden or in some country where corporal punishment of children is forbidden, and where campaigns have been conducted to unlearn this child abuse from the population. If there an adult is out of line, the community itself will deal with that adult directly. They would ask, for example, that uncle, Bart, What's wrong with you talking to your nephew like that? You have issues? Then you go to a psychiatrist. You're not going to dump your trash on him and expect us to just take it. In such a context, people will rejoice when you assert yourself to remain safe. But if you grew up in a community where people expect children and younger people to be the trash can of the frustrations of the older generation, then people will develop attitudes and expectations in line with how they were raised. Now, does that excuse people from participating in destructive behavior? No, because human beings have an inner alarm and we have a brain. When something doesn't end up, we can notice it. And when we realize something doesn't end up, we should look at what's going on and look for safety. You're not responsible for how you were raised, but you are responsible to be delivered from dysfunction and defects. Okay? And you can't do that on your own. I understand that, but at least admit that there are things you need to be delivered from. Admit that there are things you need to process. That is your responsibility, to admit it. Because once you admit it, now you're able to receive help. Because if you don't admit it, you now become a stakeholder of that dysfunction and of that defect. And by becoming that, you're now enabling evil. However, most people don't want to self-reflect because that can be painful. The older they've become, the more they've invested in defects and dysfunctions. And they just want to escape. And even when they want to escape, they want to escape to things that society conditioned into. Because they admit that they're operating based on a conditioning that they don't want to examine, that goes too far for them. So the enemy comes along based on the conditioning they've received to trick them into their doom. Now what this has to do with the image in the background over here? Because that is what worldly people want. Smooth success. They want things to just unfold for them without them having to do anything. Or they want things to depend on their own actions. That they do something and things happen as they want it. So whether it is that they want to toil for stuff, which they call hard work, which is very unhealthy and self-destructive, or they just want things to magically unfold for them, in both cases they want a no resistance path. Reality always goes different. But this is what worldly people want. And there are even believers who are not renewed in mind, they want this, even though daily observation shows you that this is not possible. So what happens? Satan raises someone up. And Satan manipulates circumstances around the individual for things to go smoothly like this. And Satan makes sure that this individual is promoted. That this individual becomes a public figure. What happens then is that people notice this smooth success of the individual, and they now reflect on themselves and realize that they don't have it. So now this individual's smooth success becomes either a target of contention that people begin to hate. And when people begin to hate someone, now you have negative energy that feeds demons, or people begin to adhere to that individual with smooth success, and a cult of personality is developed. Now whether the idolatry happens in an aversive manner that people can't stand the individual, because not liking someone, being against someone, having an attitude against someone, it's idolatry, because you're worshipping your own will above God, and whether the idolatry is in an attractive manner, people cling onto this individual with positive emotions. In both cases, people are trapped. Because in both cases, people see this, what they want. Because this is what society conditioned into. Society tells you that if you do the right things, you'll have this. The truth is that this doesn't actually exist. But now you may ask on your sheet, if this does not exist, how can Satan do this for someone? And that's what I mean. Naturally, nobody has this smooth success. It's not possible. Because we're not gods. We don't control time. We don't control all circumstances. We don't even have control to begin with. So how can a human being have smooth success? To have smooth success simply means that you have to know almost everything around you to manipulate them in such a way that you always are at ease. No human being has that ability. Pagans know they don't have that ability. That's why they rely on what they consider the cycles of the universe. Believers know absolutely that we don't have that ability, because Scripture tells us that. Yet this is what society conditions you into. This is what most people want. So when Satan wants to gaslight a population, Satan wants to gaslight as much people as possible with his projects. He raises someone up, and demons and cults make sure that everything goes smoothly with this individual. So everyone will perceive this, and they'll be shocked. And they can either respond to the shock with aversion, so with hatred, and that traps them in negativity, that traps them in harm, or they can respond with adoration, and now they're trapped in idolatry. People often don't question this, the smooth success. And that's what I mean. When you encounter someone with smooth success, realize it's demonic. The apostles didn't have smooth success. Christ himself did not have smooth success. And Christ is God himself. Oh, God himself in the flesh, as a human being, didn't have smooth success. And Christ said, a slave is not above his master. If he persecuted me, he'll persecute you. If they kept my word, he'll keep yours also. So Christ simply says, don't expect to receive a better treatment than I did. Yet, people in the world want to receive a better treatment than Christ did. Now, smooth success is gaslighting because it's not natural. It's orchestrated that way. But you see it as if it's natural. You see it as if it's a natural unfoldment. So it is a scam. Whenever you see smooth success with someone, it's demons scamming the population. Because it's not a natural thing. For example, if you see on TV that there was a celebrity, this female celebrity that was pregnant, she gave birth, and 2 days afterwards, she's walking on heels with a flat belly, presenting a show, then you know that that can't be true. Because natural, real women out there that have babies, it takes a while before their belly shape turns back to normal. Or you may see those female celebrities with big bellies claim to be pregnant and they're walking around on heels with ease. Ask any woman out there who went through pregnancy if they could walk at ease on heels while being pregnant, and they would tell you that's not possible, that's dangerous. Ask anyone out there who just gave birth if the next day or 2 days later they could walk around with a flat belly on heels. I'm telling you, when you see such things, you're being gaslighted because you see something that's not possible, but you still see it. It is because what you see is fake. That female celebrity is not even female, it's a tranny. And that pregnancy was fake. They used silicone bellies to fool you into thinking that fake woman, that celebrity, was pregnant. So they gave you an image that's not possible. They gave you an unrealistic image over and over again, and now that image is imprinted in your mind. So now, without you being aware of it, you've become attached to that image. So now you have real women who just gave birth to children feeling bad about themselves because their bellies don't return back to the normal size that quickly. While if those women would look at the bigger picture, they would realize, okay, that celebrity that just gave birth to that baby, it's fake. But if they have to admit that the celebrity is fake, then also to ask themselves, why is mainstream media promoting fake women onto them? So now they need to face all of that. And commoners don't want to go that far. They just want to be left alone, doing whatever they want to do without any hinder. So smooth success is what worldly people are after. That's why they join cults. That's why they only want, quote unquote, a small circle where they have a grip on everyone. Look, smooth success is demonic because it's a hoax, it's a scam used to keep your focus off of Christ. Smooth success is done to gaslight a population. Because when you gaslight a population, you automatically have gaslighted many individuals. If you focus on each individual, that will be too exhaustive. Make sure you gaslight a whole population, and the gaslighting of that population automatically works out in you gaining a grip on many individuals in that population. So, smooth success is what advertisers use to trick you into purchasing the product. Smooth success is what those Babylon churches use to get you hooked in their churches. And most people never question this thing called they don't call it smooth success, they call it just success, but it's smooth. It's the smooth outworking of circumstances they're looking for, in which they never have to face anything, in which they never experience any delay, nor any attack, or any resistance, just want things to be smoothly. If someone experiences smooth success and you see it, just know that that individual is being used by demons to gaslight others. Now, demons sometimes do this to an individual without the individual being aware of it, because in that case, demons are just being opportunistic. Someone is traumatized enough for them to take advantage of the individual. But there are people who use demonic powers, who know what they're doing, and they are keeping up appearances, because they know that the demons they worship, which they consider to be gods, want others to fall for this image. And this brings me to the following. Anytime you meet anyone, don't just look at what's in front of you. Because society conditioned us to chase after this. So people want to dress, act, talk, and walk like this. Because everyone wants to give off a good impression. Because everyone wants to be received. Everyone wants to be accepted. So that's why when you meet people, unless someone is mentally ill and delusional, they will give off the best image possible of themselves. And you can't blame people for doing that. However, that means that most people are lying to themselves. And they want you to convince them of those lies so that they will feel at ease. And the moment you don't validate their relief seeking, they become upset with you. Look, I don't want to make this video too long. Just remember the following. When you meet people, or when you encounter people, or let me say when you are involved with people, it doesn't have to be a deep involvement, like having a business together, or being in a marriage, or being part of some rescue mission or anything like that. It doesn't have to be a deep involvement. Anytime you are involved with people, check what you're dealing with. Check the context. And if someone has this smooth success, then check around. What is it demons want people to be distracted from? Because all smooth success is conducted by demons to distract people. So if you, for example, encounter a female student who is quite popular, she gets scholarships, she gets high grades, she is liked, she's cherished by people, so everything goes smoothly for her. Ask yourself what it is that demons want to distract others from. Because often, in the case of a female student, you can see clearly that she is fearful about something. So she is in avoidance of something. If you look carefully, you can see that she's not that happy. She thinks she's happy, but she's not. But the people around don't see that. They only see the smooth outworking, and because they idolize the smooth outworking, they think she's happy. They don't look any further. So if you would look at the context, you would realize, I understand it now. Evil spirits don't want these women over here to do God's will and to act feminine. That's why evil spirits push up this individual in the public eye, so people will idolize her and want to be like her. Because there's one thing you need to understand. You have celebrities who are in demonic contracts, but demons don't only use them, because celebrities are still distant. Evil spirits will raise up local celebrities who are not involved in demonic contracts, because you can identify more with them. Because demons want you to identify with people, so you're trapped by their influence. Because the influence of those people, demons want you to be trapped by, that influence comes from the demons themselves. It's not from the individual. So beware with receiving everything you ever wanted, if what you want is not in line with Christ. That's why you ought to be renewed in your mind, because many of you, I'm saying as it is, many of you, you need to be cleansed. Many of you, you need to undergo spiritual surgery, because many of you carry bitterness, disappointment, and all kinds of stuff, because you want things that are inconsistent for you. You want things that won't benefit you in the long run. You have dysfunctional and defect thinking that you're not aware of, because you're distracted by others who have smooth success. Not everything you ever wanted is good for you. Not everything you ever wanted comes from God. So if what you want doesn't come from God, from whom does it come? Look, always check the context, okay? Agree with Christ.